welcome. You're watching Startup Wednesday in the ever-evolving world of startups, and at a time when India's entrepreneurs are raring to go, many are leveraging the power of technology to take on some of the pressing problems that surround us. At a time when some of country's top metros struggle with stories of mounting garbage, huge landfills and toxic smoke, today on the show we will show you how startups are rising up to these challenges. A massive 62 million tons of waste is generated annually in the country, half of which is dumped in landfills. Our first startup is hoping to take on this problem in a way that is sure to tempt you. Delhi-based PomPom is a recycling platform, and what makes it unique is that it gives you cash for your trash. Take a look.
Headline after headline on stories of mounting garbage in huge landfills. Be it the fire at Deonar, Mumbai's largest and oldest dumping yard, or Bhalswa in New Delhi. These simmering landfills emitting toxic methane now call for an alarming change and highlight the desperate need to start recycling our waste.
We all talk about segregation and recycling and things like that, but it's not happening on ground. So based on the experience that we had in terms of handling waste, we realized a lot of waste that goes into landfills, which is being transported by basically all the cities have a transport system where they transport all the waste to a landfill site. If you look at the waste which goes to landfill, a lot of that is recyclable. So there has to be a way of making sure that material does not go in there.
Lack of awareness about waste segregation and recycling, even our country's biggest metros struggle with this issue. And that's the gap a startup is hoping to fill. Delhi-based PomPom is a web-based waste recycling platform that collects waste from your doorstep and recycles it after segregation. The USP of the startup, however, is that it gives you cash for your trash.
Nothing was successful because you ask people to do it, there's no incentive to do it. So even if they mix it and that goes out of the system, it does not bother them. So we thought to ourselves, there has to be a way. And that's when the idea came, let's incentivize people to segregate waste, let's pay them for it. So that's where the idea came that there's a lot of value to it, there's a buyer available for it. It's just that the whole process needs to be channelized and people need to understand what can be recycled.
The startup takes a modern twist on your local kabadiwala. Having worked with Delhi Waste Management for over a decade, co-founders Deepak Sethi and Kishore Thakur realized the need for an easy recycling platform, and the duo launched PomPom in November 2014. But the founders say getting customers on board to recycle wasn't easy.
The traditional approach, whatever has been happening till now, is you have a kabadiwala who comes in and who takes a limited amount of material from you, which is normally paper and glass, and maybe metal if you have got steel utensils and all that. Rest of the material is either given to them free of cost or they don't even reach there. 99.9% of the time, it does not even reach there. So it was a challenge that to try and tell people and explain to them, this is what you can recycle. And if I get them to understand and they start segregating it, next stage is where does it go? I have no problem if people decide to give it to the existing kabadiwala or they give it to me. As long as it doesn't go to landfill, I have achieved first part of my goal. Second part of the goal of getting the material, some of this material, segregated material might go to the kabadiwala also. I have no problem with it. But I still have enough material coming to me. Yeah. But we have to figure out a way that people do not mix it right now. That's the most important part.
31-year-old Vagisha Bakshi is an entrepreneur and runs an interior design firm. Often pushed for time, she says that she uses the app every couple of weeks to do her bit for the environment.
They're teaching us how to segregate our waste, which is the most important bit. Otherwise, what do? You call a rat picker, give them, and they dump it all together. We would place an order, they would come, and anything and everything as small as, starting from your plastics to your glasses, anything, metal, everything could, be recycled. We didn't know about this at all. So it's really helped in terms of, it gives us that value for our recyclables.
According to a 2014 report, nearly 62 million tons of waste is generated annually in India, out of which only 11.9 million is treated and nearly half, which is 31 million, is dumped in landfill sites. As per a survey by business research organization Novenus, the waste management market is expected to be worth over $13 billion by 2025, with an annual growth rate of over 7%. And that's the market the startups are hoping to tap. Since its inception, PomPom has collected more than 500 tons of recyclables in the form of paper, plastic, cardboard, glass, metal, etc. and has served more than 3,000 unique customers. The startup is bootstrapped at the moment, but the founders are looking to raise money soon and also extend their services beyond the capital. The startup was also associated with World Cultural Festival for Recycling.
जब से हमने शुरू करा है, youngsters हमारे साथ में आगे आ रहे हैं. Elders, of course, they like the idea, they want to do it, but they take time. They take time to understand. The youngsters are aggressive. They're just with us. Today also we had some college children. So happy to be with us. They said, we want to participate with you.
And as young India steps up to this challenge, startups like these could be one of the steps towards a sustainable future. In New Delhi with Simmerpreet Sembi, Hina Gambhir for NDTV.
Well, PomPom is currently functioning only in New Delhi, but the startup is hoping to expand to other parts of the country very soon. Moving on, India's capital, New Delhi, holds a record for being the most polluted city in the world. And indoor air quality is as bad as the air outside our homes. Our next startup is hoping to use a combination of mechanic and organic filters to keep the air inside our homes and offices as clean as possible.
Air pollution is the fourth highest risk factor for death globally, and the capital of the country holds the dubious distinction of being the most polluted city in the world. Amidst tall buildings and crowded roads, it's Delhi's deadly air, choking many. According to a recent report, PM 2.5 levels in the capital are 10 times higher than the safety limit prescribed by the World Health Organization. One among those who face the deadly threat of the city's toxic air is environmental activist and entrepreneur Kamal Meetal. Owing to his deteriorating health in the 90s, he was advised to move out of Delhi in order to lead a healthy life, but he wasn't ready to quit so easily.
I was on the board of IIT Delhi, and I asked IIT Delhi to help me to find a solution to this particular problem. And then with the help of TERI, at that time Tata Energy Research Institute, and IIT, we went through finding solutions and did a lot of library research and found that NASA in the US was doing research and thinking of putting people on the moon so that they would be able to live there. That gave me an idea and said, well, perhaps I can grow my own fresh air.
And that's exactly what he did. Upon research, he found out 3 plants that could be used to increase the oxygen supply, fight bacteria and filter indoor air. Areca palm, mother-in-law's tongue and a money plant. And he transformed his office, Paharpur Business Centre, with a greenhouse and over 1,200 plants to literally produce indoor air.
The person feels healthier and found that you got less headaches and less eye irritation, etc. Beside less lower lung function and upper lung function issues and less asthma problem. But now what we have found is that people, their productivity goes up, they feel much more energetic, they feel less tired, and hence, especially for startups, especially for youngsters, it means a lot because the energy levels will increase.
Drawing upon from his experience, his son-in-law, entrepreneur Barun Agarwal, developed a business model around it so that many more homes and offices could share a similar experience and purify indoor air.
That awakening happened, I think, on that one morning sitting up in the mountains and breathing really, really clean air as a contrast to what Delhi had to offer. And that's when I said, this is it. You know, air was still not the in thing to talk about. Delhi was not called the world's most polluted city at the time. But I said, there is a need for this and we got to take this to the people. A lot of people said I was crazy and nobody will buy my products because it's invisible and this is not the time for anything to do with air quality. I would waste my time, but I just said, no, this is it. I know what this does. I know what it can do. I believed in the idea that
And together, the duo founded Breathe Easy, a startup that helps companies implement solutions for improving indoor air quality. The startup uses a combination of mechanic and organic filters to increase indoor air quality for large commercial buildings and homes.
and my tagline is, I bring Davos to Delhi. So I can give you Swiss quality air sitting right here in the world's most polluted city. And we've done that now for not only this building for the last 27 years, but we've done that for a lot of other buildings in Delhi, and now we're working on buildings outside of Delhi as well. So that's how it started, and then we put this out and for a couple of other folks who had breathing issues, asthma problems, and the feedback we got was incredible. Within weeks and months, their wheezing, their asthma, nebulizers for small kids started to go away completely.
According to a study, more than 5.5 million people worldwide die prematurely every year due to household and outdoor air pollution. Moreover, India and China together account for 55% of these deaths. In 2013, about 1.6 million people died of diseases related to air pollution in China and 1.4 million people died in India. The startup has worked with over 2,000 homes in Delhi, but getting customers on board wasn't easy and pricing remains an issue.
I believe that today all the good air purifiers are imported. Whether it's from China or from other parts of the world, they're all imported, and we have a 26% import duty on these purifiers. We got to eventually start making these in India because the cost has to come down, and because the end consumer needs to have product, the mass market needs to have product that's affordable and that works, and that can only be done if we make in India.
Barun and his team aim to take this model to other cities across India and help many others battling respiratory and breathing issues lead a healthier life. Hoping the pollution levels outside too improve gradually. With Simarpreet Kaur Simbi, Sharon Alex, NDTV.
It's time for us now to slip into a short break, but when we come back, we introduce you to a 17-year-old who will show you how you can dispose of your old rubber tires in a manner that is safe for the environment. Stay tuned.